I don't think I've ever heard you share it like this.
Because I'm in an over it phase in my life.
You're not being salacious, but you're being honest.
Kirk, he handed the microphone to me, and I was just being Anthony, and he whispered in my ear, stay right there. That is why I have you here. Black culture, if I'm not accepted, and I'm Tony Evans' son, and I sing like how I do, this is crazy. People can smell a rat. They know when you're not being genuine and authentic. They know it. If we don't put black preachers on our stations, that's literally what I watched as a 12-year-old my dad get told. And I'm gonna go, and there's gonna be a point where you can't deny the calling that I have and the gifting that I have. And he just stuck with it, and that's what happened. And I just did what I saw.
Yeah.
I started catering to the bride, and then that is when it worked. My second album cover, my face isn't on it on purpose. We have to keep your face off the cover of this album so people don't see you're black and you don't get put on the black gospel shelves. And this is my real life. What is happening? There were people here the whole time that wanted to hear this, and there were people in the industry that said no.
Well, my friends, I'm so glad to be back. I am Michael Bethany. This is Life in the Wild podcast, and I'm excited because I haven't been punching out as many episodes as I had been or wanted to, but I've been busy, y'all. But I've got in my house a good friend of mine for a long time. We're going to talk about this. Anthony Evans. Anthony Evans, what's up, man?
Not much. I'm glad to be in your house.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming and pulling up.
I'm going to start by saying what everybody needs to know is that this is one of my favorite singers alive on the planet. Oh. I just want y'all to know that. And I don't really like anybody. I don't really like anybody singing. But this one right here, no, I'm playing it.
Oh my God.
You're just a monster. That's it.
First of all,
I know we're here to do podcasts and not sing, but I'm just saying.
But first of all, we should sing something. We probably, I don't know if we will. I need to get you over here for one of these like worship vibes.
Oh, I didn't even know you did them. Well, I mean, I know you do them in general.
I haven't started. I'm starting them.
Okay, got it. It's another project you got going.
It's something else we got going. 2026. But okay, so what's crazy is you're singing, talking about me singing. I remember.
Have you subscribed to my dad's YouTube channel? What are you waiting for? Come on, subscribe.
I remember watching you which kind of seemed out of nowhere because I was a huge fan of Dr. Tony Evans, just as a just a young man, as a kid, listening to him, which is funny because I grew up Kojic.
Which is a little bit different than how we grew up.
It's a little bit different, but I love the word. My father went to Bible college while he was pastoring. And so what my father would do, which is incredible, he kept growing. He came from the old school, preaching, hooping, doing all that. But he's like, I want to dig deeper. He went back to school, but here's what he did. Whatever class he was taking at school, he would teach the content at church. And whatever test he was taking, he made copies, and he made the congregation take those tests.
Right.
So I got into really studying the word like that. Going through kind of like Bible school as a kid.
Of course.
I failed all the tests because I was too young to be
right. You're still learning. Though,
I was still learning. I was like 11 years old. Like, why is everybody succeeding except for me in the things of the Lord? But anyway. It was a church kid thing. I was very churchy, but I love God. But all that to say, my father just gave me that outlook. So when I heard Dr. Tony Evans, which you are the spitting image of, just a doper, vibe, but you were spinning. I was a huge fan. But when I saw you, I think I saw you on TBN. And I'm like,
could have been a long time ago.
And it was like, and of course I knew the name, and I was like, oh, that's Dr. Evans' son singing on. Do you remember that episode years and years ago singing on TBN?
Yeah, but I can't remember which one it was because there was a period where I was doing it very frequently. So I don't know which one you're talking about, but there was a few. There were a few that I actually never want to sing into.
So I want to get into all of that, which I just loved that whole thing. But I didn't even know you even had any kids. Right, yeah. I didn't know anything.
Oh, you didn't know my dad had kids.
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah,
Of course, I knew. I didn't know who the kids were.
Let me back up. I didn't want to see those episodes again because of me, not because of TBN.
Oh,
sure. You know what I'm saying? Okay, sorry. Keep going.
We love you.
Yeah. Thanks for everything.
Thanks for everything. But seeing you on that, your trajectory as a vocalist has been interesting to me. And I've studied like what you've done. I've got a chance to sing with you on some albums, on some stuff. We're gonna talk about that because that's just good stuff. But I just want you to tell me, like, one of the things I really want to get into is like, how did you find your voice? Because when I heard you sing for the first time, it was like, I'm trying to place what we do. What is he?
Right, because that's definitely not Kojic.
I know what I know I'm from. I know we do.
Like, that's not.
It's not this. It's not that. This is something different. Which, interestingly enough, like now it's common.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
The space is everybody's
it's so weird to me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, you can answer that question like, when did you find it? Did you realize that's the space you were in at that point?
I realized I was being true to myself, which took a second, because being true to myself when my career started felt like the odd man out. And I was being literally told at a conference room table, pick a side. Ooh. Figure out a side and pick it. Either grab a guitar and don't sing any runs, or add runs and do more. It was that's literally because there was no middle ground. There was no generic general worship for everybody. That's now, which I was actually told that would never exist. So and these I'm like not trying to villainize people. They were just literally telling me this is how the industry works. So I had to.
I don't know if you know this, but I haven't always understood and have the development that I'm presenting on this podcast, on these platforms. I had to walk through a process. And that process took me some time, took me some years, a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, but I got to a place where I can now share that with you so that you can successfully navigate your process from a creative talent to a trusted leader. So make sure you pick up this book, Life in the Wild, on Amazon.com.
So I had to go through a process of redefining what success is to me. And success was being true to myself, because if I randomly had a hit song that came out of me not being true to myself, I would have to not be true to myself for the rest of my career, because everybody would want that sound in that song. So my redefinition of what success is, meaning am I at peace and am I doing what I'm called to do? That's how I found my voice, because that became my barometer for everything. Like, do I feel at peace doing this? And it takes a process, because you just want to point, just like want to make everybody happy and do the song they want to hear and sing the way they want to. But that was exhausting, and I was actually miserable trying to be something other than myself.
So let's talk about this bigger picture, because we're going to get into the voice. But I know, like, when I see you, you look like you play football, which is crazy. Like, you look like that's just what you do, and you had to choose. Even in that, but I don't even know all the details of that. Like, were you into sports? Was that like a thing?
I looked like I should be into sports, so I played sports. I mean, I'm from Texas. My dad loves football. It's just Friday Night Lights is a part of your life when you look this. But I didn't have the heart for the game. You are a junior. Yeah, I'd be in practice in high school, like, I hate this. I don't really enjoy this game. My heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
But they would look at me and be like, oh my gosh, if you would just be into this game, you would be the craziest linebacker or whatever. And I was just like, I'm good. And I wasn't into singing. I was just kind of my own. I've always kind of walked by the beat of my own drum internally.
So you weren't singing in high school?
No, I was singing at our church. Well, at Oak Cliff Bible, I was singing there because we had to be a part of a ministry. Like, you have to be involved. Yeah. And I was like, I'll just do the youth choir. And then the youth choir director kept pulling, like, going, Anthony, sing that part again. Like, y'all do this, like, sing this. So I was getting called out to sing parts. I didn't know that meant you can do this. I just thought I heard the parts fast. So it was kind of a slow thing like that.
So you didn't like, you weren't into football, but you weren't really serious about singing.
Right.
All right, let's get to that point. When did you find your voice? Like, when did you know, like, this is serious. Like, I need to do this. Did somebody tell you?
Yeah, my dad and my mom found it before I did. And then people around me, they would hear me singing and be like, my dad told me at one point, he looked at my mom and said, did we miss something with him? Because they just heard me singing around the house and were like, I feel like we may have missed something. So they found it before me. They kind of perpetuated me doing it. They called the school I went to Liberty. Liberty offered me a full ride to go there and sing when I had not been doing it. They saw a video of me singing in church and were like, yes, he can come here. And I was being placed into something, and my heart followed it because I didn't love it at first.
Yeah.
My feelings followed my feet after doing it for a while. Then I was like, oh, I like this.
So my dad was very much like that. Like, when we were kids, whatever he wanted you to do creatively, he told you to do that. And you learned? Like, I remember, like, all my brothers played something, but it wasn't by choice. They didn't discover, like, oh, I like the piano or the organ. It was like, I need an organist.
Mm-hmm.
You go play the organ.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't even know if I can do that. Next thing you know, like, they're doing it for a living.
Right.
They're all over the world. Like,
Yeah.
and I remember my father told me, which I did not become as proficient as them, like, you're the next organist, because what would happen is they'd learn how to do it, and then they would leave the church because someone offered them a gig or a job. Then they would leave. So whoever was next, I was next. So I get that, but now I'm so grateful that my father like made decisions before I understood the gravity of my own purpose.
Of course.
Which is awesome, seeing how parents play a role in helping you discover who you are, which is kind of different because I hear now a lot of people say, I just want to let my kids find their way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, my father didn't do that.
Right.
And your father obviously didn't do that.
To a degree.
But like there's some balance in
find
this.
your way, but here's some direction. Here's some boundaries. But move at your pace, figure it out. Love, like it was that.
So they're giving you direction because they can see purpose or they can see talent that needs to be honed. They're not letting you discover your talents. They're telling you you have something special. Mm-hmm. You should invest.
You should try. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So I meet people from time to time from Liberty who talk about you. Like,
oh, really?
That's my alumni. I know Anthony Evans. You know Anthony Evans. Like, so that was like an important time. Like that whole experience for you. You were in like the traveling band and all that stuff. The singing,
very
all that
interesting
stuff.
Experience. Good, but very. Like, what am I doing here also?
Is there anything about that? Like, was it disorienting for you? Like,
yes, I went from here to Virginia and didn't know I was going to be in Virginia, and then was traveling with Dr. Falwell, doing these events, and I was just kind of like, what is happening? And then I was Tony Evans' son from the stage, and I was just like, hey, everybody, Liberty's great. It was just a world I was thrown into, and I didn't necessarily at that point love it. I didn't want to necessarily want to be there. So I was miserable my freshman year of college, miserable, like something. I was depressed, actually.
Wow.
Now that I know like all this mental health stuff, I was clinically depressed.
When did you break out of there? Like, how long did it take to like?
I left after my freshman year and went
that
and
helps.
Worked at left. I was like, I'm not. This is too much. Like being paraded around at this is too much, and that sounds. It wasn't. They didn't know they were doing that. I just felt like so. I left, and then I made a decision to go back. And when I made the decision to go back, that was different. It was the same circumstance, but I decided to be there. And I was just going to go back to Liberty to finish. And my spot in that group opened back up. And they said, do you want to come back to the group? And I said, yeah, I'll come back. And there was just something different about me making the decision. Because the first time I felt like my parents were being great parents, but they were talking to the school and it was a full ride. So I almost was like, that's where you're going. Like, you're going to Virginia. And I felt very like, I'm going to where? I wanted to go to Texas A&M, be close. So it wasn't good for me. Yeah. But it became a good thing.
But it became good somehow.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile the first and the second trip? Is it like, were they right? Were they like, do you feel like you weren't ready?
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't ready. And if I would have stayed there, I would have always felt like they made the decision for me. And then that can build up. I don't even want to be doing this, to the level of where you miss your calling because you're ahead of yourself. You know what I mean? It's lifting weight before your joints are able to hold the weight. Like, it's something that could be beneficial becomes detrimental. So I had to just make the decision, and then
I think what's interesting about that is the direction you took in your career. Did it start like during college or right after? Like, how long did it take?
It started during college because everybody in the group I was in college loved this group called Truth. And I didn't know anything about this group called Truth. And then I wanted to audition for the group because after hearing about them so much, and it was like just like an AG, like Assemblies of God kids that got put together. So there was a little fire in all of them. And so that once I got hired for that group, that started a different thing. And I was hearing from people around me like, you can really do this. Like, if you want to do this for a living, you can do it. I didn't believe it yet, but that started perpetual motion in that direction.
When did you believe it?
I think I believed it toward the end of being in Truth and when I started singing with Kirk. And then I went to Nashville a lot. And Jason Ingram, who now writes every anthem we sing in church, he was the first guy I met in Nashville that was like, I'm walking you into an office and you're going to get a record deal tomorrow. Do you want to go? And I was like, okay. And me and Jason were writing together.
Where'd he take you?
To INO. It was called INO at that time. Jeff Mosley. It's called Fair Trade now. And that Mercy Me was their big flagship. And me and Phil Wickham signed at the same time.
What?
Yeah. And that was where I had to learn. I learned the industry. And Jeff is still, I call Jeff now for career stuff because he taught me how to do this by myself. But he was the one who kind of explained, okay, this is how it works. You have to pick, because there was no Mav City. There was no way around the industry at that point. You couldn't post something on YouTube and it blow up and they have to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
So I had to go into the Nashville scene and figuring myself out. It was a whole thing. But yeah, that's how the career started, the perpetual motion.
All right. So I'm gonna dip my toe over into an obvious dynamic and see how far we go with this, because I don't want to make it all about this.
Okay.
But you were Black.
Yeah.
And just as a Black person in that time, where like now it's so normalized, a lot of integration. But back then, it wasn't. It was more. In many ways, it's really polarizing now in some ways.
Yeah, but it ain't
but
like
back
that.
then, it was very different. So like, when you talk about finding your voice and going into Nashville and trying to navigate a space that's heavily CCM, and you got to pick. I just like, for me, every time I hear gospel and CCM, sometimes it does feel like the energy that people can put on it online is like they are against each other. Like these are on opposite sides of the spectrum. When in actuality, we're in the church, we're in the kingdom of God. We're all saved by the same Jesus.
Right.
But musically, we're expressing that culturally very, very differently.
Right.
And then the paths in career, like the career paths are very, very different for ministry. So when you're trying to find your voice and you're being told to pick, and then you got Kirk involved in this in your just trajectory, how does that play into like your cultural expression? Like you grew up in like Oak Cliff.
Yeah, but I grew up different. My mom is from South America, British Guyana. I was raised with like more British culture than American culture.
Yes. Yeah, I get you.
So I was, the reality is, if I could just be super honest with you, is Black culture, if I'm not accepted and I'm Tony Evans' son and I sing like how I do, and I naturally kind of almost lean more towards CCM, like I sounded more CCM than I did gospel, and I'm not accepted here, this is crazy. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't change the fact that I'm Black, and I feel like that's the thing y'all want me to change. That's literally what I felt like the first decade of my career, except for in churches. So I learned the art of going, like, bottom line is, Jesus said, I'm coming back for my bride. My bride's the church, not the industry. So that's what started me going to the bride, singing in church all the time.
Brother. Lean in on that. Like your ministry focus, you just put this shift of industry versus the church.
Two way different things. Back then especially. Two way different things. And I just learned the art of going where you're celebrated.
How did you do that? Like, what does that look like to say? Because you're involved in industry things.
Yeah.
Distribution.
Not that much. But keep going. Oh, back then you saying?
I mean, you have to have distribution.
Yeah.
You got to have these systems, right? It's a part of just the world. If I'm going to share something now, I got to share it on a platform. It used to be a record label. Now it's YouTube.
Yeah.
Right. You got to go through something, but to have the type of perspective that system is not defining you.
No, it's not.
That is major.
I learned that early on, and maybe it's because I watched my dad. My dad was never Black enough.
He did the same thing.
He literally did the same thing. I watched him be told, no, like, we don't put Black preachers on our stations. That's literally what I watched as a 12-year-old, my dad get told. And he was like, oh, okay, then I'm going to go, and there's going to be a point where you can't deny the calling that I have and the gifting that I have. And he just stuck with it. And that's what happened. And I just did what I saw. Both my parents do. Be told you're too Black. And then, okay, I'm just going to keep being me then, and we'll see how it works out. So I now am at peace, because that goes back to me trying to be what the industry wanted me to be. Back then, I would be miserable. And I'd be miserable.
Okay, tell me this. Tell me, did you ever try? Did you ever try to choose? And what did you do?
My whole second album, hate it. Sorry, I'm kind of in a
No,
a
I
little
need
free mode today.
I need liberty.
I had a little
Be
hard
free.
week, you know. I don't have all the platitudes and the
but we
churchy
need
stuff.
this because this kind of authenticity, honesty, this is what people need. Like,
hate my whole second album. Hate it.
yes,
I was literally making it for the industry. Crunchy guitars everywhere, me singing rah. I mean, just me. Yeah, don't like it. There are songs on there people like, but I was
what songs is on that? Bro?
I Choose Now was on that album. A song called Meaningless, which I actually like that song. I wrote it with Jason Ingram. A song called Letting Go. There were moments on there that I liked, but the overall arching auspices was be whiter. And my second album cover, my face isn't on it on purpose. We have to keep your face off the cover of this album so people don't see you're black and you don't get put on the black gospel shelves in this is my real life. And I'm sitting at the table like, oh, okay. Well, I guess if that's what we need to do, like, what is happening?
Hey guys, I've got new music out and I want you guys to check this out. We got collaborations with Alton Eugene, Marianne George, Isaiah Templeton, and even my buddy Stephen McWhirter. So go to wherever you listen to music, look up Michael Bethany and enjoy this music. It's going to be a blessing to your life, maybe even your prayer time, because that's something that's so important to me. So God bless you. Listen, let's go. Peace.
Okay, well, I guess if that's what we need to do, like, what is happening? Like that now, thinking about that, I'm like, are you okay that you said that you didn't get up from that table? But as a 24-year-old, it's a picture of me from here to here on purpose.
You're making me reflect on moments in my life where in the moment I was being told something that should have crushed me and I went numb. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting at the table and I'm being told that the reason things aren't working is because you're black. Yeah. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. But at the same time, I love the church so much. I want the church to be okay. And I'm not talking about Gateway for y'all. I'm not talking about that. Just don't go there. Don't go there. Okay. But actually, that was actually one of the first places I went where it was like, be whatever you want to be.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But earlier on, I remember those conversations, and I remember how it took years for me to go back and unpack that again and feel safe enough where I could be mad or be, upset or to feel anything.
Right.
Because at that moment, I felt like, well, I'm supposed to serve and I'm trying to do the right thing, and I don't want to be the reason that things don't work. And
yeah, being supposed to serve is one thing. Supposed to enable something that's wrong is another thing. And I had churches along the way, Gateway being one of them, for instance, where I would go there and sing live, and I wasn't being asked to be anything other than myself. And they would ask me to come back. So this, first of all, this is not like victim talk for me, because I sound very like, and then they did this, and then they did. That's not that. It was just the reality of what was going on. But along the way, I was being undergirded and wind was being put in my sails by the church. And that was like, oh, the church is the thing that's not going anywhere. So if that's that's the promise.
Can we talk about this? Because I love the fact, because we have to tell the whole picture, because people love sound bites.
Of course.
And they love to like hear what you're saying through the filter of whatever their hang up is. And I think here's what you got to understand. Like, the point that you're making is very similar to my life. It took me a little bit longer to get there, in that I've never been rejected by churches. I go maybe 80 to 90% of the churches or more that I go to now are mostly integrated or mostly majority white. And that's not by design. I didn't do anything to make that happen. It was just what the Lord did.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that, sometimes it's Latino, or I'm in Asian church. Like, I'm in different places and the ministry has become more global. I have never felt rejected by people, but there are these conversations behind the scenes that are sometimes industry related, people that might be considered gatekeepers, people that might be considered these things, or even sometimes in churches behind the scenes that think that they know what people need to see or
right.
what they're trying to protect or create or project. And I think to understand this, there is no animosity for the church, and there's none of that. Really, what's happening is the Lord has shown how the church is actually more united and less critical. than sometimes people would make you believe.
Yeah.
That's what I've come to find out.
That is the truth.
It's
There were
the truth.
gatekeepers. There were until 2020, basically, there were gatekeepers who got to control everything.
Yep.
2020 created, we're going to build another gate over here. Y'all no longer get to tell everybody what they want to hear. And then the audience was like, actually, we're okay with that, which is what the church has been doing this whole time. And why my career is 24 years old is because there were churches that were like, we love this.
Yeah.
But on the radio, we're just going to hear this, but we actually love this. So now there's a way around the industry. That's the bottom line.
So everything's changed, like YouTube, social media. You
Yeah,
can go
your
right
phone.
to the
Yeah.
person, and now you can see like the metrics of who's listening to your music, who's watching your videos, and you're seeing
Yeah. There
everybody.
were people here the whole time that wanted to hear this, and there were people in the industry that said no.
Yeah. I love the fact that you didn't get deterred by that because you had a heart for the church, which is really what ministry is, right? Whether it's evangelism or building up the church, is really having the heart of Jesus and operating your life based on what his will is for the kingdom. And maybe we can kind of get into that because I want to talk about you finding your voice, but I feel like in this, you found your assignment. Like you found where God was leading you.
Yeah.
Which is really more important than your style.
Yeah.
Because it informs. So how has that informed your convictions around how you conduct business as it's a part of what you do, and how you plan for ministry, and how you plan to do music, and how you've become a more authentic version of what God intended you to be?
I feel like overarchingly, I've gotten to the point, I think this will answer the question generally, is I have associated every yes with a simultaneous no, and vice versa. So if I say yes to something that feels outside of my calling and outside of what I'm supposed to be doing, then I am saying no to me, my calling, like that thing. If I say no to something that's pulling me out, then I'm saying yes to myself. And the more you do that, it starts to streamline and it basically just starts to streamline your specific calling. When you're just, I keep hitting this mic, I'm sorry. When you make a decision that my value isn't going to be placed in me trying to make everybody happy and do everything for everybody, which for a long time I did, because I have value issues in general. So that's how over time it's become more streamlined.
I love it. And so let's get into this. I got a chance to get a close, let's talk about when we met, because I was going to get into me,
Yes. I remember you coming to the church. I'm trying to think when I met you though.
We met before, because remember I sang on your album before I came to the church.
Somebody just tell me about you, and then that's how I'm trying to figure out where I met you the first time.
Okay, before I met you, I met Jonathan.
Okay,
and Jonathan was trying to be P. Diddy. I think those were his words.
Yeah,
he was trying to produce, and he was in hip hop.
Jonathan was trying to be a producer.
He was serious.
I know, but
he had what's the little dude that rap? I forget his name. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. T-Ned.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. T-Ned, that was terrible. I should remember. So anyway, so I haven't seen him in years, but he had T-Ned. So T-Ned's doing an album. Somebody told Jonathan about me. I came in and I did
you sang a hook.
I sung a hook on this
That's
album.
what happened.
So after that, Jonathan's like, I met this dude. And maybe that segued into us meeting.
I think so.
But we had all these people in common. I'm in Dallas, and Dallas
Singer world
is really small, in the city. So I'm with Fred. I'm actually doing stuff with Kirk. So we're right in the same space, but I don't know how we met. But I remember you asking me, or someone, it might have been you or someone reached out to me to sing on your album, to do background vocals for you.
and Peaches.
Me, Candy, and
it was
no, it's Candy and Peaches.
Was it Candy and Peaches?
Yeah,
Okay.
Candy and Peaches. Me, Candy and Peaches. And so, so let's talk about this, because this was my time hearing your music. And I think by this time, you'd become like who you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Would that be true?
Yeah, it'd be true. I would say that was an authentic presentation of where I was at that time, because I'd already come out of my record deals and I was making albums independently, and I was doing the covers that I kind of changed the songs up a little bit.
How did you come up with that idea? Because that was
my third album. I got dropped after my second album because it wasn't working industry-wise, which I understood. But I went to a house in Nashville. At that point, I was traveling with Kirk, had all the band fly into Nashville, and we just got in this house. And I got a producer named Nathan Knuckles to come and sit in and produce his album. And I remember him sitting at the board and going, "You don't need a producer." And I was like, "What?" Because he was just sitting there. Because Sean Martin was there, Terry Baker was there, Akil Thompson, Michael Rapole, like these crazy musicians that are all my friends. And we were playing stuff and he had nothing to say. He was like, "You don't need a producer." And so we just started playing covers of songs because I hadn't been writing. We just started playing covers of songs and it turned into that album released. And I remember seeing it #1 on iTunes and me being like, "That's what happened after you got dropped." And then that changed everything.
And you went independent.
Yes.
To this day.
Yes.
Which is crazy. To be on a label, you would think that that's going to be.
But that at that point, that was the industry thing. So that for most people would work. And yes, I had end caps when I was on the label, and I had in stores and sing at the mall and do all that stuff. But for what? It was church that was doing it. So I just started making music for the bride. It doesn't make sense to me why you would know that that's the bride, and you would tell them to come to you, and you would say, "Listen to what I make for you, and wear this because I made it for you." Like, who treats a bride like that? Nobody. I started catering to the bride, and then that is when it worked.
Did you ever have a point where you thought like what if this doesn't work? Like, because that wasn't a thing. Like, it's a thing now. Being independent is everybody's independent. Like, I'm on a label now that's all for independent artists, but
Right.
they're working with the label in a way they never would have done back then.
Yeah, that's because they have to do that now.
Yes, exactly. They've totally changed the whole structure.
Yeah.
Right.
Which Jeff Mosley told me. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Jeff Mosley, who's like the godfather of my career, I told you about, he told me, you were doing back then, you had no idea you were building an infrastructure back then of what the industry was going to become. Like, you beat everybody to this thing. And that's why you have a production company now. That's why you're taking other artists on. That's why every tour is done by you. That's why you were building this. You were sad, but you had no idea this was a setup.
You can keep on going.
No,
You're really in your bag right now.
no, I'm just, it's, and that happens with us in general. I'm not talking about music. Don't mistake the setback for a setup. And that sounds so churchy, like alliteration and stuff, but I'm serious because that's what it was. Oh, nobody cares. I have to use myself. And meanwhile, I own the masters to 12 albums. And I'm like, in the day and age of streaming and people going right to you. I have 12 albums that were made in sadness that I now own fully, and people are listening to them. That was a setup for ownership, which most artists don't have.
What would you say the most important thing you learned that you use every day to operate all that you're doing right now? Like, because I think when you think about that, what you said right there, some people would say it's a flex. I know it's not a flex.
I didn't mean it like that.
But it's not. It's like, but it's major. So the point is like, no, that's not lightweight. That's serious.
Yeah.
To own master 12 records, that means you actually recorded 12 records. And that's hard to do one.
Yeah.
To do 12 and then to tour and to do all those things into your merch, the image, all the marketing, like that is heavy lifting. So when you think about what is the one thing you would tell a young creative, an artist, or whatever they're doing, specifically for someone independent, kingdom mindset, want to do it for God, like, what is the one thing they need to know how to do? Like, because I'm like, that's overwhelming to consider.
My piece and the core nuances of my calling are non-negotiables. The end. Don't come in here and try to mess up my piece, and don't come in here and try to change the core of what I know my call. Nuances, I get it. Like, let's try this, let's try that. You compromise that, and you have set yourself up for a miserable life in the industry and in general, because it bleeds onto everything.
Conviction, which is to say that creative, artistic people can sometimes come across as the most talented person in the room, but also we know many times are the most insecure people. Mm-hmm. Like whatever you're doing is in front of everyone, you're more conscious about how it looks, and you're criticizing everything, which creates this insecurity, like, is it good enough? Is it good enough? And if it was good enough, is it still good enough? And will it be good enough? And that performance thing is happening. So having a conviction that is not manipulated by what you think perception is.
Right. Yeah. I'm open to hearing thoughts and stuff, but my value is, I'm not placing that in your hands. I'm not placing I'm not placing my value in your hands like that. Let me know what you think, but if it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not doing it.
Let's go to this other side.
Okay.
We talked about the tension in Nashville. Let's talk about the same tension in Nashville. Stellar's Nashville, and this is not about Stellar's, but just like you have the CCM side, you got the gospel side.
Right.
Did you ever feel like ingratiated into that world? Like,
no, because everybody in gospel music knew back then, especially, Anthony is not a gospel singer. Like, it's very clear. I come from not that. And if I tried to be that, Kirk made it very clear when I started singing with him. He came up and whispered in my ear. I will never forget this. I was singing with, I don't remember the city we were in, but he always randomly hands you the microphone and you're panicked because you don't know what he needs from you. But all I've heard is him hand the microphone to Tam and Dalen and Candy and these people who go for blood. He handed the microphone to me and I was just being Anthony, and he whispered in my ear, "Stay right there. That is why I have you here." That stay right there, he had no idea what that translated into my life. Stay right there.
that's so incredible. I love that.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that tension, like, because I want to be balanced about this. Two brothers, black guys sitting here talking about music and worship, and then the idea of how race plays into, or your ethnicity plays into these genres.
Yeah, culture. Yeah,
culture. But when it's you and you're in the middle of them both, you can't go to either side. You have to then know what your voice is, apart from being the quintessential essence of whatever each of these genres want you to be.
Right.
Did you ever try to be that? Or did Kirk get you in time? Like, you never?
He got me in time, but I still would try because I was still riding the line down the center of both. So you kind of, some things lean toward others. Like, he produced a couple songs for me.
Yeah.
And I remember him when he was producing the songs, him being like, "Okay, do that stuff you do when you're playing around trying to sound like a gospel singer." He was like, "Okay, do that." Because I would like pick color notes and stuff that you would naturally sing that I wouldn't. So we were laughing at me playing, but he kept some of it because he was like, "That goes with this song." So there were moments where I would try, but it just, you can tell. People can smell a rat. They know when you're not being genuine and authentic. They know it. So, I mean, they know it. So I just had to stop trying too hard. There's nothing worse than somebody trying too hard and you're looking at them like, "I know that's not who you are."
Yeah.
And you look crazy. You look nuts trying to be something that we know you're not.
Well, okay, so because I'm now, like, honestly, I've known you for like a really long time. People may not know this, but I served at your father's church.
You did.
For a minute. I wanted to talk about that season.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about that. But even in the way you're sharing your story now, I don't think I've ever heard you share it like this.
Probably not, because I'm in an over it phase in my life right now. So so you're getting you're actually, I mean, there's a little filter, but not much.
Yeah, you're not being salacious.
Yeah.
But you're being honest in a way that I feel like we need. I feel like there's a responsibility to be both honest and wise about how you carry that honesty.
Of course.
Because we live in a world where you cannot say, "Well, if you want to know context for me, go listen to everything I ever said, and you'll know I'm not that way." That's irresponsible. So if you're going to say something that's going to be pointed, make sure you say it in a way, because all you're going to have is 30 seconds. All you're going to have is 2 minutes. Be honest, but be responsible. Okay. Say what you need to say, but talk about it in a way that you're not harming people or aiming at people or denigrating people. And I think for me, Anthony, I feel like sometimes this kind of honest conversation, if people are afraid of it, because we feel like, if I say this, then people going to think this. If I say that, people going to think this about me. And then all it does, it creates a fake version of you anyway. And And in reality, I don't think this is about picking a side. I think the side to choose is truth, and with grace and love, but tell the truth. And I think that's what you're doing right now. You're telling the truth. We know history. We can watch it and see it. No one has to tell me. I can just look at your story and say, I probably can see some of the things he had to face. Mm-hmm. But you owning that story and telling it is liberating to somebody who feels like they're going crazy because no one's saying the obvious, mm-hmm. and they can't say it. There's so many people. I get people who call me all the time, and specifically Black worship leaders and artists who are traversing a world where most of the places that they're leading worship is not in majority their ethnicity. And they need someone to be honest with them. Like, how do I wrestle with being in a place where the ethnic expression is not from my place of origin? Mm-hmm. But I know God called me to be here. And I got to find my voice. And it's hard to get someone who doesn't understand your history to teach you your voice.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So you're going to wrestle. And if I'm not honest about that, I'm gaslighting everybody. You're pretending like, well, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. I've never felt that. It's like, you're lying. Mm-hmm. Be honest, because you can only help people with the truth. So I appreciate your honesty right now. And it's needed, but it's also responsible. Mm. And I think that's a season I'm grateful you're in. Do you feel like a responsibility? Because you were first to this. What we've seen with, Mav City. And I say Mav City was like, after I say that, it's like, well, Todd Galbraith kind of is in that, but not quite. Mav is like the one outlier that I would say was what you were doing.
Right.
But you were doing, would you agree with that?
Yes. And but not in a way of like, I was doing this before Mav. I just remembered I was on the Kingdom tour with Maverick City on behalf of the tour sponsor, actually taking a summer off, but I was out there on that tour with them, and I would stand in the back of these big arenas. I remember the first night in Miami, looking around this arena with 15,000 people in it and being like, I was told this was never going to happen. And I was so excited for Chandler and Naomi and Brandon and all the Mav City team that was there. I was so excited for them, and I will never forget Naomi coming up to me and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited I get to meet you, because growing up I thought nobody's like me, and then I found you. Woo. And Chandler said it another time. He was like, yo, how he loves the version that we did that you were on. Yeah. He was like, I had never heard that song before, and you made me go, there's a Black dude like you. And I just hearing those words from them, I don't need any more. I don't need the arena to be there for me. I was just like, yo, you have no idea that I felt like there's nobody listening to this kind of middle of the road music, except for two people who would become staples and leaders and world changers. So that's all I need. I don't need to be up there doing what they're doing. I'm excited that I encouraged them in any way to keep going down your road that seems like nobody else is on.
You were a part of actually paving that road that would lead to that.
And I'm down to help pave a road that somebody else drives on really fast.
Wow. Which is why you're not just an artist, right?
Right.
So you are doing production. What the name of your production company?
Sherman James.
Sherman James.
My grandfather's names.
Yes. So your production, movies.
I act in movies. I don't produce them.
That's but you didn't weren't you doing some music management or something like that?
Yeah, music supervising for a couple of BET films that I was in. It was a kind of a crazy scenario. I was in this. You remember Robin Givens growing up?
Yeah, I do.
She was the director of this movie, and she kept asking questions, and I would just answer them on set. I was an actor in the movie with me and Rotimi and Jonathan McReynolds and Soraya and a few other people. But she was asking questions on set, and I was like, yeah. Can I answer that? If you just do this, and she goes, somebody tell me. She talks like this. She's like, somebody tell me why he's not supervising the music in this movie. I'm confused. And she just did a whole thing, and they came up to me after and like, hey, do you want to go ahead and do the music for this movie on set? And so that's how that started. But yeah, I've done that for a few films now. Mm-hmm.
And are you still making records?
Yeah. I'm writing quite a bit right now and about to record new music, but it will incorporate other artists also. Like If that makes sense.
Is that what you were getting at? Like, I saw a post you made recently, and you like made this post, and people started sharing it with me. And it was like, Anthony wants to.
Oh yeah, because why would I at this point in my career use everything I've learned just for me? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, they told me that you said that you want to do an album with me, like a song.
Oh, with you?
That's what I was told.
I would always be down. Oh, I did say that. I literally said your name.
You did. I was surprised, but I was pretty.
Why are you surprised? It's so funny to me how you act like you've never heard yourself sing.
You know,
I'm so interested.
I've never heard. Well, you know how this is. I don't know what it is to other people. All I know is like I'm listening to myself. Like my wife listens to Secret Place. Like the single just released. Mm-hmm. Every day, Siobhan, how many times a day do you listen to that song?
3 times.
I love it. She has it 3 times.
And the song is 21 minutes long.
Oh, it's one of those.
Well, it's a whole experience. It's all the stuff. She listens to the entire thing.
Yeah.
And when it ends, I'm like, okay, she's done. And it starts over. I'm like, oh,
nope.
let's do this again.
Solid hour of the Secret Place.
It's like, seriously.
Yeah, it's not just about you singing. It's your, because we know a lot of singers. There's a thing, and I'm not talking about runs and high notes and screaming. I'm talking there's a thing there's just a thing that is innate and very unique. So that's what I mean. I'll sing with that.
That's amazing. I love that. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me I got one more thing I want to get at before I let you go. So I had a season that 2013. I'll tell you this story because I don't know if I unpack this with you. So I was serving at a church, and in 2013, that year the Lord had given me direction that I was going to be leaving this church, and I knew that December of 2012. 2013, I went on my first mission trip. This my life totally changed, right? The whole Sri Lanka thing, and you may have heard about that. Me building water wells and all that kind of stuff. And I want y'all to know, y'all can help me build water wells. You can go to overflowculture.org, and you can help me with that, and you can donate because we're changing the world. All kind of amazing things happening. But, when I got back, I knew that my life was about to change. It was a radical trip for me. When I landed, the first call I got, now, and let me tell you, I had already decided I'm leaving this church where I don't have a job, but I'm going to obey God. It's May. I land back from Sri Lanka, Colombo, and I'm about to go on a 21-day fast. So I got to seek the Lord because something just happened to me over there that I don't understand. When I land, the first call I get is you. And you're like, hey, I'm on the plane. I just turned my phone on, and you called me. So you were like, hey, man, you wanted me to come meet my dad. I'd love to have you come meet my father. And I just think about maybe you coming by and maybe being a part of what we're doing over at the church. And we had a relationship by that point. And so have I ever told you this?
I didn't know the timing of it all, but yes.
I was in my life is about to change. I'm about to quit my job.
You haven't told me this.
I don't know where I'm going next, but I have to obey God. I land and you call me. I start that 21-day fast. And when I check the calendar,
sorry, I was about to say something so stupid.
You're
so spiritual.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
listen, it's not like I've done 12 of these, okay? But this was a definitive moment. So when I start that fast, I start the fast because the Lord said do it, and I started that day. And when I looked at the calendar to see when the fast would be over, it was going to be my birthday, June 9th. I met with your father, which you overslept that day. You didn't show up.
Oh.
But you did call. He called you, and you answered the phone.
Oh, yeah.
You were in the bed. Remember that. You're like, hello. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't need to be there. I would have been sitting between y'all doing this.
But it's great. And so all this is going on. Your sister, Crystal, is spying on me. She would come. She came over one time, and there were pillars at the church I was at. And she was like sitting behind a pillar, like,
girl, I can see you.
You're sitting right there. I'm leading worship. It's like, oh, y'all really trying to see what I'm doing.
She's the quintessential oldest child type A. I want to make sure this is going to be right.
She did. So I had that meeting, and long story short, they asked me to come lead for the first Sunday, and the Sunday they asked me to lead was the last day of my fast. So now I'm skinny as ever.
Right.
Can fast for 21 days. And I'm up there leading worship, and it was a great Sunday. And of course, the rest is history. I came and became a part of that staff. And that's where we got to really, really connect a lot.
Yeah.
And be a part. But I just thought that was such an incredible time because I got a chance to see the culture you were raised in. And this whole transition I got a chance to be a part of, which was when I get there, there's like the carpet is like burgundy. The seats are like used to be
pink and
pink.
burgundy.
Something.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was a historic place, but it was not like, it was still stuck, right? From a like generation, like what it looked like, what it felt like. And I walked through this whole season, and the job I end up working is really, really difficult, you know, and I'm meeting with y'all and all kind of stuff. And we're talking about it, but I just think about sharing a season with you and your family and doing ministry together. And that's really, I'll tell you this. It was one of the most important seasons of my life. I never worked that hard in a church. It made a man of me. Like I got a chance to test the artistic, the industry, the preaching, the teaching, the pastoral, the administrative, the electrical engineering and project management stuff. Everything I'd ever learned, I was able to assemble it and put it all together. And it all worked. And only when it finally gets to its completion, the project to church design, all that stuff, and the Lord calls me out of it. But all that time for me is such a precious time. And I owe it to God. But if you hadn't called me, I don't know if I will be prepared to do what I'm doing today. So I just wanted you to know, like, what major role you played.
Oh, thanks. I'm honored to have played any role at all.
You know, it was a major role. I just wanted to ask, why did you make that call? Like, what were you thinking with me coming to be a part of that? Did you see what it would be?
Yes.
Or what's up, y'all? Listen, we had to pause the podcast for just a moment because I have a special invitation for everybody. Overflow Experience Conference is coming back 2027. That's right, March 4th and 5th. 2 days, power-packed days of adding value to your creative life. If you're a worship pastor, worship leader, you're doing production, whatever you do in the creative space, we want to add value to how you serve the kingdom. So make sure that you pre-register right now at michaelbethany.com/OXP conference. Let's go. Did you see what it would be?
Yes,
Or
I have there's a part of me now, you mentioned it a minute ago, with me doing production and wanting other people involved. I thought that was normal I see somebody who's great. So let me connect these dots for them. I get as much out of that as I do releasing an album and singing, bringing people together and making things work from the back end is a major part of who I am. And that's why I'm doing that now with other artists and other people. Like, I'm like, this could work great for you, so you do it.
So what are you doing on it? Let's talk about this. I'm just kind of wrapping up. What are you doing right now? What's next? What artist are you working with anyone releasing music? Just the whole picture, whatever you want to share.
Yeah. Well, basically right now I'm still making albums and stuff and all that, but I'm looking around for other people who have a similar heart to mine that I could put on in scenarios where whether I can't be there or I want to make music. Like there's a new artist that I'm actually working with officially. His name's Caleb Carson, who came out and sang on the road with me and my sister. Just on the road, and I asked him to tell me something about himself I never knew, just on one of those nights where everybody's talking, and he randomly told me he's a leukemia survivor, had a 10% chance of living when he was 2 years old. The doctor said he would never be able to speak. And I'm like, wait, but you're singing with us on the road and you're alive. So what do you mean? And he can sing. Like, he has this, he can just sing, and it's just mild mannered. And I was like, great. So I will work with you. At first it was like consulting, working with him, but now it's like, full on, you're next. So that I get excited about that. And I've been writing with Chandler quite a bit, Naomi quite a bit, and putting these songs on other people because I don't always need to be the one singing them. And then producing tours that I'm not necessarily on, but those years of having to figure it out yourself, now you know how to put on a tour. So,
Wow.
there's a whole variety of things going on where I'm not necessarily going to be the front man of them all, but I get to take those years of, I'm sad, I have to figure this out myself now, and put everything I learned on everybody around me.
What an incredible story. All things working together for good.
Yep. Romans 8:28 is real.
It's real. And not just for your good, but for all the people that's connected to your story
Yes.
that needed that.
Exactly. And side note, because I'm a big like mental health, be good to yourself kind of person.
Yeah.
It's not for all the people. It's for all the people who I now know are good people who will be responsible with what I'm putting in their hands. Because old Anthony that had value issues would just try to help and save anybody and get myself into a lot of trouble. The work I have done on me has set me up to be at peace and not waste my calling and resources on people who don't deserve it.
Jeez.
Side note.
That's a big note. That's a big note. Yeah. All right. So let me just say this. Listen, follow Anthony. You probably already follow him. Look for his music. When's the next album dropping? Any date?
I'm not sure. We have new songs. We're about to start recording that.
So me and his single's coming out soon. So stay peeled for that, because we got a great song coming out. Just speaking that by faith, it'll happen. It's gonna be amazing
for real.
So this episode, share this with somebody, because there's so much in this that I know I didn't even realize what this conversation was going to really be. I thought I had a whole direction, but the honesty, the authenticity that you brought to my house, which is why I like doing it here, because I know people just feel comfortable. I appreciate you for that, doing that. So I got this in my heart, and I'm really being sincere. There's a hymn that I've heard you sing a lot. Mm-hmm. It is well. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put you on the spot, because I love to end this episode with a verse and a chorus of that, because I think what you've spoken is such liberating ministry. But even with the mental health piece that you just keep bringing into this,
I'm always going to, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what you went through, that song has to be thematic. Mm-hmm. Even for a lot of your life recently, over the last 6 years, it's been a lot. But I'm sure, I've heard you sing that song in churches in a worship set. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I would never sing it as well, but it's like, it needs to be heard, because people need to know that's the truth. If you would mind just sing a little bit of that.
Just a little bit.
I set it up really nicely.
You did. You did set it up. Like, can I even say no? I'm just playing. No. I didn't know. I'm doing some lower and lower. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul, with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope you believe that, because that's it's true. And it might be prophetic to you in this moment because it may not feel well, but it is well because God is with you. And through the confusion of the story, as you heard Anthony talk about, there's a reason, there's a purpose. And it's not that God does every bad thing, but everything that happens to you, no matter how bad it is, has to go through the filter of God's ability at some point to make it serve God's purpose. And I think it's important to speak life from whatever place you're in to yourself. And I love it when people speak encouragement to me, but sometimes I have to be able to sing these songs by myself, to myself, to encourage myself. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Anthony, for coming and hanging out with me. Life in the Wild, like, share, subscribe. And I don't know, it's hard for me to even stop talking right now because that was so incredible and so powerful. Love you, man.
Love you.
Peace.